about just a clean slate, getting into Big 12 play? You learned from the non-conference, and now you can focus on the 9 games ahead of you, starting with Baylor.
Yeah, it is kind of more of like a clean slate. Coach Gundy and the coaches kind of, after we watched the film of the game yesterday, we kind of just put it behind us. Obviously learn what we can from that game and just try to do better moving forward.
What's sort of the mood of the locker room like after a loss like that?
Obviously we all was upset because, we're competitive. We never want to lose. It doesn't matter who it's to. Any loss, it hurts. And, we obviously know we're better than that. But, we was hurt in the locker room, but all we can do is just, move past that and just try to be better going forward.
And there's a lot of talk about Coach Gundy's job status. How are you guys handling that as players?
We really don't get into all that, all the stuff on social media. We just kind of focus on what we can. We're just here to play football.
Has he addressed that at all with the team?
Nah, we had an off day. We just lived and watched the games. But other than that, we really just focused on Baylor and what we could do moving forward for that.
How important is it? We look back, it's been like 9, 10, 11 games that you have. Oklahoma State hasn't held an opponent without scoring in the first quarter, hadn't held an opponent scoreless in the first quarter. How important is it to have a clean first quarter, just to kind of set the tone for a game?
Obviously, as a defense, we want to, start out fast and strong, and we haven't been able to do that in the past couple of games. So going forward and looking forward towards Baylor, that's what we're trying to do, just start fast.
And just I want to ask you about lack of takeaways this year. The point of emphasis is that in practices, trying to get more takeaways in these games.
Yeah. Obviously, for us to be a good defense, we have to be able to, take the ball away from the offense and give it back to our offense. And going into this week, we're gonna, try to focus more on doing that.
How you guys obviously had your struggles last year, but it's basically an entire new team. Is this team handling it differently than last year's team? If that makes sense.
I guess you could say that. From what I've seen, the losses still feel the same. Everybody still kind of handles it the same as in that moment, we're upset obviously, but that next day or that following week, just try to move past it, and just learn what we can from that game, and try to be better for the next game.
This was a game last year that you guys defensively had your issues, but it was a game that you guys were in for most of the time. Does that give you guys confidence going into this game? To hey, if we can clean these things up, this is a team that last year we could have competed with?
Yeah, definitely. We played Baylor last year. It was a competitive game. This year, different team, but we still kind of have that same mindset. What can we do better? Possibly that we didn't do last year that we can do this year. Just be better for this game.
What stands out about Sawyer Robertson?
He's off to a pretty good start. He's a pretty good quarterback, but we're gonna watch the film on him and figure out ways slow down their offense.
Thank you.